Much love to all hoopers and athletes as we try to investigate possible causes of Kevin Durant's Jones fracture in his right foot. So, Kevin Durant this year, 2014, 2015, has been having a lot of issues with his right foot. He has a break on the far outside of his right foot. It's called a Jones fracture, and it's problematic because it's in a place where it doesn't necessarily close the bone, so it requires surgery. Um, so for stress fracture is not necessarily caused by one big movement, one blow up. It's caused by an accumulation of movements, perhaps some inefficient biomechanical movements over time add up and slowly break down the bone until it breaks all the way through. So, for any kind of stress fracture, it's good to study the movements in slow motion and look for possible causes of repetitive use. And from there, maybe we can adjust our movements and try to figure out better ways to move. And as we age, remove the movements that cause us problems so that we can continue to perform in our sport and outside of our sport, even despite injuries we have to work around. So to start off, gotta say this is not scientific. This is just looking at slow motion and saying, hey, maybe this is the cause, maybe this is not the cause. But let's look at two potential causes of repetitive movements that could hurt Kevin Durant over time on his right foot. So first, let's start off with his cuts. You can see he takes a lot of these right foot cuts, and this might not seem like much, but when you weigh 240 pounds, this forward foot cut, that's possible that over time that could cause a Jones fracture. Again, this isn't super scientific, but it's an idea. Something to look at is how are you cutting with your right foot? Is it different from how he's cutting with his left foot? It looks to be, maybe, so it's something to keep an eye on. And who knows, it could be a potential cause of the Jones fracture, and it might be a movement that he's going to have to adjust as his career progresses. Moving on from the way he cuts with his right foot to, well, we're back there, but to the way that he lands sometimes. So in general, I like Kevin Durant's landings. He backslides a lot, he hangs on the rim and drops from the low point a lot. But sometimes he does these landings where he stops his entire forward momentum, more or less with his right foot. Look how far he jumps on that dunk. He's 240 pounds, he jumps high, he jumps far. If he's breaking all of that with the right foot, then that could definitely explain what's going on with the Jones fracture. This movement could definitely be a cause. So again, he doesn't always land like that, but he lands like that enough that it's a concern. And the suggestion there would be to maybe take more steps to slow down. From a physics perspective, the force isn't really going to change, but you can spread the force out by taking more steps or getting to the ground. There's various things you can do, but obviously if we have the option of breaking it all with one foot, all our force, we'd probably prefer not to. So again, it's just an idea. This isn't super scientific. It's just looking. But here's some, excuse me, there's some potential cues of what could be causing, or could have caused Kevin Durant's Jones fracture. Anyone else who has repetitive or stress-induced injuries, I think this is a good way to go. Just analyze it under the microscope and see if there's anything you find, and then you can adjust your movements accordingly, and maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but it can shed some light into pretty mysterious injuries. So I think this method is helpful. Let me know what you think. If you think these injuries could cause damage, couldn't cause damage over time, if you think that this is definitely it, or if you think that there's some other movements he makes that I didn't put in here, I'm happy to look at it. And again, for all y'all, record your movements. That's the best thing y'all can do, I think, for preventing injuries like this. So hope this helps, and maybe we can save some hoopers from injury this way. So peace out. Let me know what you